St. Kitts and Nevis, financial environment. Tax. Personal income tax. The personal income tax was abolished in 1980, meaning that there is no personal income tax in St. Kitts and Nevis. Corporate income tax. Companies that operate only outside St. Kitts do not need to pay corporate income tax. International business companies, IBCs, do not need to pay any local taxes. Capital gains tax. There are no taxes on capital gains. However, capital that has been purchased and resold within 1 year is subject to a 20% tax on capital gains. Lease income. There is no tax on rental income. There is also no inheritance tax and no gift tax. Offshore Financial Center. The Offshore Financial Center is a free trade and control-free international financial market. St. Kitts and Nevis's offshore financial businesses are a major force in the wholesale banking industry. The amounts of deposits and loans are usually large, and the transactions usually take place between banks and multinational companies. Offshore financing businesses are basically introducing foreign capital and then lending it to foreign countries. Individual investors can also invest through institutions. The Caribbean region is internationally renowned for its offshore financial centers. The establishment of offshore companies. When comparing offshore companies and general limited companies, the main difference between them is taxation. Unlike common practice, which levies taxes based on the volume of business, revenues, or profits, the governments of the offshore jurisdictions do not impose any taxes on the offshore companies, but only charge annual management fees to them. In addition to tax concessions, almost all of the offshore jurisdictions have clear laws that ensure that every company's shareholders' information, equity ratio, income status, etc., is confidential, which means the information will not be disclosed if the shareholders are not willing to share it. Moreover, offshore companies are also recognized by the majority of international banks, such as the United States Chase Bank, Hong Kong's HSBC, the Development Bank of Singapore, and France's Banque de l'Indochine, which is why they can open accounts in these banks freely and run financial operations in a much more convenient way. These kind of offshore regions and countries always have good trading relationships with developed countries. Therefore, offshore companies are often one of the financial instruments used by large multinational companies and high net worth individuals. The establishment of offshore companies. Documents required for offshore companies include a completed application form, a notarized copy of passport, notarized copy of driver's license, notarized copy of water and electricity bills, an attorney recommendation letter from lawyers that have been acquainted for more than 2 years with the applicant, and a recommendation letter from the bank, who have accounts that have been used for more than 2 years by the applicants. The establishment of offshore companies. The setup cost of an offshore company includes the setup fee for a company of $1,500 US. The annual inspection fees are $1,000 US. The company secretary fee is $800 US per year. The company registration fee is $700 US per year. And the company seal is $295 US. The procedure of setting up an offshore company includes Step 1. After the lawyer receives the application forms and fees, they will review whether the chosen name of your company is available. If the company name is eligible and available, the lawyer will submit the application form and all the other documents. The application process usually takes 4 working days. When approved, the business license, association articles, official seal, and related company documents will be obtained. Please note that all application documents must be in English. For non-English documents, it is required to be translated into English, and the translation must be notarized. Overseas trusts. Trusts originated in the Middle Ages in the United Kingdom. After 800 years of development, trusts have been widely applied in developed countries. Many prestigious families have already handed over their assets to these professional trust agencies for management. With the increasing amount of high net worth people around the world, they, as the first generation entrepreneurs, have to start dealing with the issues of wealth, inheritance, and security. That is why overseas trusts, with various functions, are becoming increasingly popular among the world's newly wealthy. In Hong Kong and Taiwan, which were deeply influenced by Western culture, the use of trusts is more extensive. For example, the former richest man in Taiwan, Wang Yongqing, set up overseas trusts of his assets before his death and finally avoided the endless legacy disputes. Hong Kong high net worth individuals like Li Ka-shing have complex overseas trusts, while Shao Run has also set up a family trust and charity trust. It is very important to choose a suitable offshore setup location for overseas trusts. The choice of offshore location depends on the purpose of the overseas trusts. Since overseas trusts are aimed at tax avoidance, asset transferring and protection, inheritance planning, and other special purposes, the location of overseas trusts should have the following features: reliable legal system, preferable taxation environment, stable government environment, and a healthy financial environment. Common locations for overseas trusts are the Cayman Islands, the British Virgin Islands, Singapore, Jersey, Guernsey, the Bahamas, the United States, Bermuda, and Hong Kong. As you can see from this list, the Caribbean region is a famous place for setting up overseas trusts. Welcome to St. Kitts and Nevis, and thank you for listening.